Welcome to the Band Director Bootcamp podcast, the go-to place for busy band directors who want practical to build programs while maintaining balance in their lives. This podcast is brought to you by the Empowered Music Educator Academy, where we help directors like you find efficiency, sustainability, and impact in your teaching and leadership. And speaking of impact, our platinum sponsor, Kennelly Keys Music, has been serving musicians with a commitment to quality, reliability, and exceptional service. Whether you need top-tier instruments, expert repairs, or trusted advice, they've got you covered. Now, let's dive in and set the tempo for success.
Welcome to another episode of Band Director Bootcamp, the podcast with productivity and wellness tips for busy band directors. I'm your host, Lesley Moffat, and I'm really grateful to be sharing this platform with you. We know you don't have time for long, involved webinars, so we provide 20-minute tidbits with takeaways you can use to support career longevity and a happier you. And so what we're going to talk about today is kind of a topic we talk about a lot, and we're going to have another solution or another idea for you in that whole bit about the stress that comes from managing kids, managing music. Oh, I don't know about those of you out there, but I have nightmares of being buried under pieces of pet band music, or the percussionist never turned that music in, and you find it under the drums at the end of the year. You know the pain. And so there's a lot of overwhelm that can come with a lot of that organizational stuff. And you know how it always is, right? Someone stole my music, which no, they actually didn't. But sometimes we have issues with kids keeping control of music and the like. So, if there was a way to sort of streamline this and find a way to make rehearsals be more efficient and help lighten your mental load and your kids being more successful, wouldn't you want to know about it? I know you'd want to know about it, and that's why I brought Tory Smith on board today. Tory is a seasoned guitarist and a manager of 2 successful cover bands in Dallas, and he recognized the challenges that musicians faced on stage, and his solution to this type of thing, he's going to tell you more details, was to create a smart and discreet teleprompter that's designed to boost musician confidence and performance. And who doesn't want that with your kids or yourself, regardless of who's performing? So we're going to talk today about this tool, and we'll explore how this innovative tool can help band directors like you enhance your rehearsal efficiency and keep kids engaged. Or if you're a band director who's out there performing, this is a tool that you might really, really like, especially if you're like me and sometimes our eyes are harder. It's hard to see those papers. This might be something you really, really dig. So if you want to find more about this innovative tool that's just barely out there on the market, stay tuned and let's get to know a little bit more about what Tory's got to offer. So Tory, thanks for being here today and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Lesley.
So tell us a little bit about you and what got you involved in creating this kind of a tech solution that looks like such a cool tool for music teachers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a bit of a live music nerd. As you mentioned, I manage 2 cover bands. I've got a top 40 80s band that I manage, which is a lot of fun. And then being in the Dallas area, country music's kind of a thing. And so I also got a 90s country project as well. My brother's the lead singer of both of them, just phenomenal voice. And I wanted to do something where I got really great musicians to support him. But when we started our band about 5 years ago, he didn't want to be caught with the iPad in the face or a music stand in the face. He thought that was a very unprofessional look, and it creates a barrier between you and your audience. And so he looked to see what was out on the market, and he was kind of looking at some teleprompters, and he didn't quite see one that just really checked all the boxes. He had his iPad app that he really loved, and he has little Bluetooth pedals that he could turn the pages with, but he didn't really love it. So he, true story, he went to the garage, found an Amazon shipping box and cut out the front of it, wrapped it completely in black duct tape. And that became his cover, right? His covert cabinet, if you will, poor man's cabinet. He rests his iPad inside of that black Amazon box, and that became his poor man's teleprompter. And he did that for a number of years, and nobody ever knew that he was using some sort of lyrics prompter to glance down at his lyrics, because he's getting older, his vision's getting worse, so he knew he would need some sort of, I don't want to call it a crutch, but a visual guide, to glance at the lyrics. And so he did that. And I thought that was very innovative and novel of him. But then fast forward to about a year ago, he's still using it. And I shared with a new friend of mine who's also a drummer what he was using, and he was fascinated. He goes, "Oh my gosh! Just this past week, I tripped over this big clunky wooden cabinet version of that, And I'm not a fan of that one at all, because all it does is it just shows JPEG files, and it's not very user friendly, and blah blah blah." And I said, if we could come up with a better version of this, I would market the heck out of it. I really would. And so that's when the light bulb went off. So the very next day, he was cutting pieces, wood and sketching kind of a design. And then like 2 months later, we debuted at the International Guitar Festival in Dallas. And it was one of the most popular booths there. What I didn't know about my business partner at the time was that he was ranked one of the top 50 internet engineers in the world. Okay. He was a brainiac. He's above genius level IQ, smartest guy I've ever met. I had no idea. Not only was he going to design the hardware of this thing, but he was going to build all the software inside all by himself. And he has built, I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty features today, but he's just impressed the socks off of me. And then as fate would have it, we now have the world's first smart teleprompter. And what makes it smart are some of the features, like you can wirelessly synchronize multiple boxes. You can color code, if it's text-based, I'm not talking PDF, lead sheets and sheet music and whatnot. I'm just talking kind of basic text. You can color code chords, section, bridges. You can auto transpose. So anybody that's maybe doing the thing at the coffee shop or the local pub, you can quickly transpose your chords on the box. There's just so many really cool things. Like we just released something called Sing Along, where somebody from the audience could scan a QR code and see the lyrics as you see them on stage, and actually see the lyrics in real time. That doesn't exist anywhere. So there's some brand new features. And then we're going to be launching an AI component of this in a couple months, where we say, "Hey, black box, pull up Sweet Caroline. You know what? Pull it up in the key of G this time," and boom, and it just shows it up. It shows up the lyrics, the key, everything in real time. Again, nothing like this quite exists in the market today, and so we're very, very excited, to be releasing this. We just got back from NAMM, very, very successful show, lots of great feedback, lots of people genuinely interested in this product. What I'm especially excited to talk to you about today is, how could we make this work for band directors, in a school or university environment even, and really at the end of the day, this is a really nice black cabinet that looks like a speaker. From the audience's standpoint, it looks like a speaker monitor. Doesn't look like a teleprompter. It's in the floor. You have a page turner, right? It's 3-foot pedals connected with a USB cable, and we're going to be rolling out Bluetooth before too long. But the short of it is, it's about 3 times the size of your biggest iPad. Okay, almost 3 times the size. So it's a 24-inch screen. You can, you can enlarge things, and it has Wi-Fi. You can go out to the internet. You can run a web-based program. So maybe there's web-based programs out there like Fourscore and things like that, where you can flip the sheet music. You can run all that from this. And the beauty of it is, you don't need to have your students, pull their iPad out, and be distracted, or shuffle the papers on the music stand that fall down. This replaces all of that. And so, you talk about a tool to help the students really just stay focused. That's where we're going with this. And so there's so many applications for this, but definitely schools, both, K through 12, as well as university level, I think could really, really take advantage of something like this.
Well, and it's such an easy way to help do some differentiating. Like you were talking about, you can highlight things or color coding. And I know, like when students are looking at percussion parts, if we could highlight the snare drum part because they're looking at too much information, that's just a tool to help students and doing this. And as I know, most of you listen to the podcast and you can't see a visual, but it is a big speaker type thing on. It looks like a monitor that would go on the floor. So if you were thinking like you had a jazz combo or small portable groups, rock bands that play at your basketball games and stuff like this, you could have one central location to run your stuff through. And you could be more in control too, because like Tory was telling me, like you could have what was this, like one person can put out to the monitors what they're going to see so that they don't mess it up. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. We have this whole, we call it wireless sync, where you can have one person as basically the main controller, the one in charge. Let's say it's the band director.
The control freaks, right?
The control freaks. We call it the control freak. AKA band director. No.
Yes,
but you have your band. You have the person in charge that's controlling the screen for everybody else, right? And so it creates a local network, and then everybody's synced up to it. So you've got your controller, and then everybody else are considered like receivers, right? But it's one person showing the same display for everybody. So when you go to the next page or whatever that next view looks like, everybody stays on the same page, controlled by one person.
Can you tell me about somebody who has just started using it? Have any comments like that it's intuitive? Is it easy to learn? Does it take like a whole long set of YouTube videos to figure it out?
Great question. Yeah. So I can certainly read a couple of recent reviews we just got on the website. That'll probably be a good starter. But like learning curve. No, not a huge learning curve at all. In fact, I have a video that says 5 minutes on how to get started. Which I need to update because we released new features since then. But we simplified it where you don't have to be super tech savvy. Okay. And we're really big on having how-to videos on all of this, because we're releasing features at such a rapid pace that even me as the marketing guy am having a tough time keeping up, because it's just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Wouldn't it be cool if we did that? And as we start rolling this out to schools, I'm sure we're going to get really good feedback from band directors as well. So I just want to mention we are super, super open and receptive to customer feedback.
As you say that, as a your first year of business, wrapping that up and coming into your second year, I know as a business person that first year is such a huge learning curve, and we get better at what we do when people give us feedback. So if you're a band director, and you're like, oh, this kind of sounds like something I want, and you get in on this ground floor as they're developing it and can give feedback, it's going to be a program that really serves your needs. Let's be selfish about it, honestly. So it's a great time to get involved with this. And a lot of people will be like, oh, money, money's an issue. Well, I want you to, if you're a music teacher out there, think about how you can use some grant money for things like this. These are tools to help your students. They can align the purpose of these tools and how you can help kids scaffold and how it can provide learning supports and accommodations for kids through this tool. So there are all kinds of resources out there. And between those resources and ChatGPT, you can write some grants and get yourself some money to pay for these amazing tools. So don't let yourself tune out just thinking, oh, this just sounds great, but no, I teach in a school where we don't have money. Well, there's opportunities out there. So just wanted to put that plug there. And before I let you continue and talk about some more, because I know we got some more things you want to talk onto, I do want to take just a pause and thank our sponsors, the Empowered Music Educator Academy and Kennelly Keys Music, for making this podcast possible.
As band directors, we know that success is all about preparation, whether it's in the classroom, on the podium, or behind the scenes. That's why the Empowered Music Educator Academy is here to help you master time management, reduce stress, and create sustainable routines that keep both you and your program thriving. And when it comes to ensuring your musicians have access to top quality instruments and services, Kennelly Keys Music is the name to trust. From rentals and repairs to expert advice and outstanding customer service, Kennelly Keys is committed to keeping your program running smoothly. Visit KennellyKeysMusic.com today to explore their offerings and experience the difference of working with a company that truly cares about music education. Now, back to the show.
All right, we're back with Tory Smith. And Tory, I know you were just about to tell me something amazing. And I'm like, wait, I got to go to commercial break. So we are back. The cliffhanger was big. Tell us what you were about to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the question earlier is like, well, is there a learning curve basically? And learning curves are very minimal. And I'll just read right off the site. We just got this review recently. He says, everything plus one. I ordered one of the units, received it, got it set up in a few minutes with the set lists and music from an upcoming show. Took less than 30 minutes to get it up and running. And when I have called for some help, it's been awesome. He says, our drummer, I'm reading this for the first time, guys. Our drummer now yells at me when I'm not keeping the page on the prompter up with the location and the song. So I guess he's manually.
What?
So yeah, really.
Wait. This is fiction.
A drummer's a musician? Wait, what?
No, this is fake. Just kidding. Keep going, Tory.
But he's like, there's so much in the software that I have yet to use. A very capable box with great support. So that's yes. I mean, and I thank you, Brian in Cincinnati, for that review. So yes, we are. We're young. We're hungry. We're ready to boil the ocean. No, we're ready to listen to some of the needs, because what we found in the music industry, especially with some of the tools and gear that's out there, they've worked great for many, many years, but a lot of them, I don't want to say are getting stale. There's just newer ways and newer approaches at looking at things.
Yeah.
The iPad is a wonderful tool that does so many things, but it's not the end all be all perfect tool for everybody. And so something like this, in the sense of, how can we get everybody on the same page where we can clearly see our music, where the kid ain't going to lose it. It's impossible to lose this thing. I mean, it's a cabinet, it's a 26-pound cabinet.
I don't know. Have you met percussionists in middle school? They can lose everything.
Well, but it wouldn't be theirs to lose.
Kidding.
It would be an asset of the school, belongs to the school.
Okay.
Just like your desks are in a fixated spot, right? These would be in kind of I don't want to call it a permanent spot, but they would be almost like furniture in a way, or like a desktop computer in a way. It'd be an asset. But yeah, this is something that so many folks could really take advantage of, and I'd really be interested in hearing feedback from some band directors who would like to be an early adopter of this, to see how we could improve upon it and make it better.
So if somebody's interested in finding out more, we're going to put a link to whatever you'd like us to here in our show notes for directors. Let's tell them what you're going to direct them to, so they know what they could be looking for.
Yes, the absolute best deal. We run sales all the time. The absolute best deal, I mean, because we are on Amazon and Reverb and eBay and things like that. But the absolute best deal is going to be on our website, which is blackboxprompter.com. And if you use the promo code BandDirector, that's all one word, doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase, BandDirector, you'll get 10% off your entire purchase. And if you're in the U.S., in the 48 states in the U.S., you get free shipping as well.
Whoa, that's awesome. I love bringing people on. You guys are so generous to the listeners. So that's great. And I just say, having spent just, half an hour or so with you here today, I can tell you're enthusiastic about your product. And it's more than just a product. It's something you truly believe in. And you've made it something pretty awesome. And you're still looking to keep it growing and fit the needs of people out there. So I'm excited for you. And I'm excited for people that are going to have this new tool available to help in all things music related.
Well, I'm excited that you had me on your show, Lesley. This was great. I mean, I did some research, and I was like, wow, there's a podcast that speak
for nerdy band directors,
tools and best practices just for band directors. That's pretty fascinating.
Look, if we can do anything to reduce stress levels and help people be more productive, so they can do this, for as long as possible, I'm all for that. And so people like you who are creating tools to help them do that, by golly, it's my passion and my mission to showcase that. And I hear such great feedback from listeners. I know they appreciate it too. So, Tory, thanks a million for being here and for sharing your awesome product with us. And thank you to all you listeners for showing up for your students and for all that you do to contribute to their music education experiences. The work you do matters, and so do you. Join us next time on Band Director Bootcamp for more productivity and wellness tips to make your life a little bit easier.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Band Director Bootcamp podcast. Remember, success in music education isn't just about what happens on the podium. It's about taking care of yourself and setting up systems that work for you. The Empowered Music Educator Academy is here to help you do just that. So be sure to check out our resources at empowerededucator.com. And of course, a huge thank you to Kennelly Keys Music, our platinum sponsor, for their unwavering support of music educators like you. Whether you need instruments, accessories, or expert advice, their team is ready to help. Thanks for listening and keep making music happen.